Hey, what's up? It's 2025, a new year, and so I have a lot of things that I want to work on in terms of my skateboard progression this year. And so last year I did one video where I learned the no comply 180. And so this year I've got a bunch of things that I want to learn, new tricks or improving on old tricks. And so yeah, it's gonna be a good opportunity to continue to learn, and hopefully I can make some good progress this year. So for today's skate progression, I'm actually going to be working on a trick that I can already land sometimes, which is the kickflip. I learned the kickflip when I was pretty young, when I had just first started skateboarding in my middle school years, I guess. And I can land them from time to time, but not super consistently. And I want to work on improving them today to, one, make them feel more comfortable, but also to make them more consistent, and then add that to my consistent bag of skateboarding tricks. But first things first, we're gonna get warmed up first. So I'll do some of my basic skate tricks, and then we'll also see if I can still land the no comply 180 that I learned from last time. So as I learn new tricks, I wanna make sure that I still remember how to do the last tricks that I've learned to make sure that I have them still and can continuously do them consistently. So let's get going. Let's see if I still remember how to do the no comply 180 from last time. Okay, it took a few tries to get warmed up and then remember how it feels, but it came back pretty quickly, and then I was able to land 2 or 3 no comply 180s. All right, so let's move on to the kickflip. So the kickflip is one of the first tricks that most beginner skateboarders want to learn after they master the ollie. And so a kickflip is a pretty simple trick. It's essentially, you do an ollie, and then with your front foot, you kick the board off the corner here, and then that initiates this one full spin, and then you catch the board after one complete rotation with both feet, land, and then hopefully roll away. And so I've landed kickflips here and there throughout my skateboarding career, but never consistently, and they've always felt really awkward. So today I'm going to be working on improving my kickflips, and I think what I should do first is show you what my current kickflips look like, and then I'll also explain how I want them to feel better and more consistent. Also, I'm just gonna start off trying these kickflips stationary. I don't wanna try them moving yet, just to simplify the variables a little bit. So just stationary for now. So as you can see with my kickflip, I'm gonna have it in slow motion here on the side. One of the things that I wanna work on is improving the height of my kickflips. So right now it looks like I'm kind of barely getting the board off the ground, and I'm able to get the full kickflip rotation, but just not getting much height. The other thing that I really wanna work on is the flick of my front foot. And so right now, the way that I do my kickflips, it's pretty choppy. And so when I kick, it really kind of kicks off the side of the board. And the kickflips that I've seen some professionals do that look really effortless and really smooth, they actually drag their front foot up pretty high off the board and then try to kick off of the front corner of the nose. And so what that allows the board to do is to raise up higher, so you get that height. And then once they initiate the kick, it looks a lot smoother. They're able to kick through the board and then level out the board at the peak of their ollie. And so I'm gonna work on those things today. I'll give you an example of a skater who does really great kickflips. I love Chris Chan's kickflips. I love Felipe Mota's kickflips, and Dylan Jabe is amazing. So I'll put one of their videos up here, and you can see how effortless they make their kickflips look. and how floaty they look, and also how high they can get them. So after watching some tutorials on kickflips on YouTube, for example, like Skate IQ does a really great tutorial on kickflips. One of the things that is key for a good high kickflip is to make sure that when you're popping, you're actually giving the board some time to reach its height. And so what I'm gonna work on first is just start with ollies. And what I'm gonna do is try to keep as light as possible, focus on popping hard and jumping high, letting the board come up, and then trying to level out the board at the peak of my ollie, and then land as lightly as possible. All right, let's try that. Okay, that feels pretty good. I felt pretty light and floaty on my ollies. So I think the next step will be to try to incorporate the flick at the top of the ollie. So I think what I've been doing in my current kickflips is initiating the flick too early. And so that doesn't allow the board to raise up to the height that I want the kickflip to be at. So what I'm gonna focus on here is delaying the flick by a little bit so that I can reach the height of my ollie and then initiate the flip at the top of that ollie. So those felt pretty good. I felt like there was a little bit more floatiness to my kickflips. It felt pretty weird trying to actively delay my flick, even by a fraction of a second. It feels totally different than how I was doing my kickflips before, but that felt pretty good. So let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so the next thing I want to work on is where my front foot flicks off of the board. My current kickflips, my front foot kicks off of the side of the board. What I want to work on is to guide my front flicking foot up to the top corner of the nose. And what that will help me do is to just level out the ollie a bit, while hopefully maintaining the floatiness of the kickflip. And so I've got this little carabiner clip here, and I'm just gonna clip this to the top front part here, and then I'm just gonna practice moving my front foot up to kind of knock the clip off to guide my foot to the right spot. Let's try that. So I think I'm gonna move on and do the next step, which is essentially with the flicking foot. What I want to work on is really trying to think about kicking through the front of the board and really extending my front foot. Let's see how that goes. Okay, that was kind of a freak kick flip, but the front foot did kind of extend pretty far off the board. It was pretty rocket, meaning I didn't really catch much of the board as I flipped it, but somehow I still managed to land it. So I'm gonna continue working on the front foot and see if I can sort of level out the board now. Okay, and then for today, I think the last thing I'm gonna work on is trying to slow down my kickflip. The rotation of the kickflip can actually be initiated not with a super strong flick, which is what I've been doing, but by just having your foot kind of rise up to the top corner of the board, and then just do sort of a relaxed extension of your foot. And that's enough to initiate the full kickflip rotation. And what that will do is it'll slow down the flip so that you can control it a little bit better. Also spot the landing so you can see when the board has completed its full rotation before catching it and then landing. So try to do a kickflip slowly. Let's see. Okay, so a few of those felt pretty good. And so to end this video, I think I'm just gonna try to take some slow motion videos so that I can go home and analyze the kickflip a little bit and see if I can make some more improvements in the next one. But I'll get a couple angles and I'll do a comparison to where I started earlier at the beginning of the session to where I am now. Let's see. I landed a handful of them in slow motion, so I'm gonna go home, analyze, and see if I actually improved or not. This is definitely something that I'm gonna have to revisit and continue to practice over time, but I really wanna get my kickflips consistent, so I'm on the right path, I think. So next time I might pick this back up or try to take a break and work on a different trick. I got a bunch of new tricks that I wanna learn this year, so I'm pretty excited about that, and hopefully I'm gonna improve as a skateboarder. 2025, it's a new year. See you in the next session. Peace. What the?
Hey, do a kickflip.
Okay.
Woo!
First try.